Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Dosha with DoshaDreamsTarot, and this is a reading for the sign of Sagittarius. Sag. I tried to do a reading for you earlier. I didn't try, I did, okay? But it was much shorter than usual, and it felt rushed. I had music going and was just doing stuff around the house, and I just kind of like sat down and do a reading, and it was very rushed, and I might still post it, but I wanted to do a more relaxed reading for you because I feel like y'all might be entering some interesting eras in your life, entering new eras, and the lessons are going to be different. The energy is going to be totally different than what you're used to, I should say. It almost feels like things are speeding up a little bit. So, wanted to take a moment to slow down. Keep in mind, guys, that these are general readings, so may or may not resonate with you. If they do, let me know. Interact with the video. Also wanted to say that gender is fluid, guys, so when these cards come out, I'm going to refer to them with gender neutral language as much as possible, so the readings are accessible, but also if any strong energy does come through that feels pretty obvious, I will state that. And with that being said, so the Hermit card in reverse for me, in the context of the energy that I'm picking up on for you guys, is like I said, things picking up. It's like coming out of a state of dormancy, I'm almost getting. And self-reflection, more just focusing inward, focusing on your immediate surroundings, you know, maybe being pretty quiet in life, like you're not, you know, necessarily like engaging on a high level, like in this, like in the communication sphere, right, in the social sphere. So I feel like that is changing for you, and in a really big way, almost like you're actually, so there's always going to be a mirror, okay? So, you know, a lot of times spirit will show me not only the things that you're doing right or you're doing well, or that like are really like healthy, positive aspects of being a Sag, like the way that y'all are with like the amount of self-confidence and strength, and just really like a lot of what's the word, I want to say moxie, but I feel like that word has just been like floating around my head lately, because that's the energy though. It's like kind of like, you know what I mean, you speak your mind, you're very independent, you really value freedom, like you really value your individual freedom, but you also just value freedom for others too. And so you're very like, you know, tolerant in that way, but in the same exact way, you're very intolerant. Does that make sense? Like that's I feel like what I observe anyway, what I've come to understand, you know? So it's a beautiful thing to be outspoken. It's a beautiful thing to have that amount of passion and like fire that you step up to the plate, okay, to challenge norms or power structures with the Hierophant in reverse. And I feel like you are very rebellious in that way, and that is an admirable quality, okay? This is what I'm trying to say. And I think that is something that it does bring us heat. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, if you're challenging something, then like there's going, if it's an existing power structure, right? And this is like, think about it in a social way, okay? Right? Like, so on all levels this happens, right? Is that certain people step into like leadership positions in like social circles, in work situations, like it just happens when people are in groups, okay? So what I'm saying is that what if, you know, the bully is the, you know, the popular person, the person who like, you know, they get away with stuff because they just like, you know, are very charming, and like, have you ever met somebody like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's very common. So basically what I'm getting is that, you know, sometimes there are people who are in positions of power who you know what I mean, deserve to be challenged and should be challenged, because if you're in a position of power and you are what's the word, indignant, right? Like you don't want to admit when you're wrong, or you don't want to bend for the will of the group. Instead, you like very like my way or the highway kind of thing. You know, you're like a bully. You kind of like, you use negative reinforcement to bully people into submission to adhere to the culture that you want to create, right? Like that's basically what it is. So when that happens, it's like, it's important that there's people who kind of like challenge that, be like, what? No, like I don't like the way that this is going. I don't like you being in charge, because you're taking us down a fucking path that I'm not into, I'm not cool with. And so people need to speak up, right? I'm a Sag rising, so I at least understand in some aspects, you know what I mean? You know, and have come to understand Sagittariuses. So, you know, what I'm saying is that's a good thing. But so, you know, like I said, as always, there's something to, you know, address here. So we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And the first thing that I got was, like, when you are stepping up to, like, you know, up to the plate, if you're kind of like, you know, I almost said, I wanted to say like stepping toe to toe, but like that's pretty dramatic, because you know what I mean, unless it is toe to toe, because then like, you know, like when it's actually two individual people, because when it's one person, you know what I mean, like, and there's an existing power structure and it's kind of like distanced, those are the types of challenging, like, be like, oh well, some, you know, I don't know, I'm getting ridiculous examples, guys, but you'll have to bear with me because they're coming through. But it's like, you know, if you're rebelling against, like, you know, culture when it comes to, like, you know, the way that you dress, and like, you know, how there's an unspoken dress code, you know what I mean, for like certain spaces. And so challenging that by being like, well, I'm going to instead, you know what I mean, exist in the world in a way that challenges that power structure. It's a cultural thing, right? So I'm saying that when people challenge that, then you actually reshape culture, and then you actually create room for other types of people to be existing in those cultures, you know what I mean? Because you challenge them, because you're like, you know? So what I'm saying is that, guys, it's like you are a trailblazer, you know? And you have leadership qualities. Like the Sages that I'm reading for right now, it's like, no, you're... Sorry, guys. You're ready to speak out on some shit, is what I'm getting. And when you do that, okay, Spirit is encouraging you to spend some time focusing on yourself, and make sure that you are putting just as much energy into your well-being, your peace, your center, your happiness, right? Like you're Zen almost. I don't know why I'm getting that. For some of you guys, it's like, I don't know why I'm just like feeling like martial arts and like, you know, different ways of channeling your chi. That's what I was thinking. I don't know why I'm getting that, guys, because that's basically like here's how I see it, is your power center, like, because this is about being in the upright. It's, you know, standing on your own 2 feet, doing well for yourself. You have everything, you know, going on for you, like just as a single person, you know what I mean? But you're on your way, you know what I mean? Because the 9 of Pentacles comes right before the 10, right? So this is how you're able to level up, and how you're able to eventually reach the 10 of Pentacles, right? Which, you know what I mean? Some people are like, 9 of Pentacles is great. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need no man, right? See, like I said, it's like everything's gender neutral, but like if things like that happen, like I have to abide, okay? So, but that's kind of like, you know, some people, yeah, absolutely, you know? It's beautiful. We should all learn how to get comfortable with the idea of being happy on our own, because that will be the majority of our experience. Just saying, guys. And it's not, you know, I mean, some people don't, and they, you know, I mean, I'm just saying being independent is good. So that is something that you may need to work on, that you may need to look at and say, okay, you know, in what ways am I codependent on the outcome? You know what I mean? And I know that's an interesting way to spin codependency, but I'm serious, is that, you know, if you are hinged on the outcome, dependent on the outcome, attached to the outcome, really, I guess is the best way to say it, then it's like, then if it doesn't go the way that you would like it to go, you know what I'm saying, then it's like that could shake you a little bit. And, you know, you want to make sure you're prepared for what it is you're stepping up to the plate for, because, you know, you don't want to go in hot-headed into some situation, right? Like challenging these power structures, just kind of jumping right into it from hermit mode, right? So we need to do a little bit of self-reflection first, see where we fit in the world, how are we interacting with the world, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you have to do things like look at the long game, right? You want to make sure that you're ready for what it is you're stepping into. So, okay, all right, let's go ahead and see if we can get a little bit deeper, see what's going on. Ooh, a lot of messages come through with 3 cards, y'all, I swear. That's the way Spirit works, so it's really cool. So, anyway, thank you, Spirit, for your messages and guidance. We're deeply grateful. We guide Sagittarius for their highest good, Spirit. Hey y'all, sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but my video stopped, so I'm just gonna jump right back in and hopefully I can, I don't know, it just disappeared. I'm serious. The video just disappeared. I don't know if it'll come back. I think that's weird to say, but that's happened before. So we'll see. But anyway, we'll jump back into it and I'll recap also. Hi Sag, welcome to my channel again. If you're able to see that first part. Anyway, a lot came through. Basically, you're coming out of a state of self-reflection, and you are like, I feel like coming in really hot. Like, it's like you're challenging existing power structures, I feel like. And in doing so, you're channeling like that beautiful Sag energy of standing up for yourself and what's right, and you know, like really, I feel like feeling yeah, sorry, I'm seeing cards as I'm cutting, and like basically you need to make sure that you are standing in your power, okay? If you're going to be stepping into that energy straight out of being, you know, like I said, kind of quiet into yourself, and then now being very outspoken all of a sudden, right? So you just want to be cautious. I'm gonna flip my deck about that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Can we clarify the Hierophant in reverse, Spirit? It's hard to recreate a part of a reading, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like, the recap kind of sucks compared, so hopefully you get to see that, but we'll see. Anyway, so you've got the Star card coming out, and what this is telling me is exactly what I was feeling about this really being like a really divine part of you, that it's actually a really big part of your purpose is to challenge power structures and norms, you know, not just power structures, but cultural norms, you know, and, you know, just societal norms, right? So I feel like this is actually, this is something that you want to fulfill, and this is something that is a part of you, you know, it's a part of your character, it's a part of who you are. So, you know, I'm getting that, like, you're not, like I said, I feel like you're not backing down. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're not, you're not going to, like, you're willing to face turbulent waters, basically. Because the Six of Swords upright in the traditional Rider-Waite deck shows, you know, some individuals in a boat leaving choppy waters to go to smoother, calmer waters, right? Leaving behind the conflict or whatever turbulent, you know, energy. So this being in reverse tells me that because this is a part of who you are, right? This is a part of your, in a way, you manifested, you know, this type of, how do you explain it? It's like when you're doing self-reflecting on who you are and, you know, what you care about, and you become enlightened to who you are, you become enlightened to your integrity, your calling, whatever it is, and you just feel it so like in your bones is like what I'm hearing, like that you're just like, I can't like leave this behind, right? Like you're like, I can't I can't unsee this. Like I can't unknow what I know. Like what spirit has shown me that societal and cultural norms and traditions and existing power structures is something that you are actually born to challenge, like I said. And it's not like, you know, it doesn't, there's unfortunately a lot of really non-constructive ways that happens, right? So I'm not referring to, you know, the destructive ways of doing that, but it's like by like accessing it in a way that it's like, it's about integrity. It's about doing what's right. It's not about who's right or wrong necessarily like that. Like, it's more like, you're like, hey, like, you know, I don't know. That's how I'm seeing it. You know, that's how it's coming through. That it's almost like, you know, when, like I said, when you're in a group of people, and this I think was in the first part of the reading, but I said when you're in a group of people and there's like existing like cultural, you know, hierarchy, just social hierarchy, right? Where that, you know, certain people kind of, you know, rise up in the ranks, right? And end up in like leadership type of positions, right? But I was saying that like not all of these people are good leaders, and some of them are corrupt, or, you know what I mean, really it's about like abusing that power by even just being a bully, like just being an asshole and getting away with it, you know, like that's just like the most basic version, right? So what I'm saying is that like there should be people in those groups that will stand up for others and stand up for themselves and be like, no, I don't appreciate this treatment, it's abusive, whatever it is, like it's not cool, like we're in a workplace, like you should not be talking to like that to people, you know, like there should be people who say like, hey, like no, you're actually pushing like our cultural norms, right? Like, you know what I mean? You're like, I don't want it to be my cultural norm for people to be rude to each other in the workplace and be disrespectful, right? So like, no, instead, this is the standard and you set the standard instead. And you're like, no, excuse me. Like, you know, I don't know what world you live in basically, but I live in a world where that, you know, this is the standard. So either you rise to meet that standard, you know what I mean? Like, and so you flip the tables on them, basically. You know, and it's just such a cool attitude because, like, I'm serious, though. Like, and because you're coming from a place of integrity and you're right, okay? I need a drink of water, but you're actually right in this instance. You know what I mean? Like, and right is subjective, like right and wrong is, and it's circumstantial, too, but what I'm saying is that it's coming from a place of like, you do have to be careful about moral superiority, but it's not about that. It's like, it's more so, like I said, setting a standard of conduct and behavior, right? Like in a, like culturally, societally, right? So you're like, hey, it's not cool when this happens consistently and is just tolerated, right? So I think that that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about, and you should do that in any types of situation, guys. Like I said, like workplaces, like if there's somebody who is, you know what I mean, like just blatantly you know, violating code of conduct at work and stuff, it's like somebody should have, you don't have to be like, it's not grade school being a tattletale, okay? That's not grade school shit. You know who came up with that stuff? Bullies. Bullies came up with that because they're like, oh, you told on me that I did something bad to you, so you're the tattletale. It's like, you're the motherfucker, excuse me, who came up and pinched me. It's not okay to pinch people. I don't want you to harass me. Leave me alone, right? And you won't leave me alone, so now I gotta go tell somebody, an adult. You know, unless you want me to kick your ass, right? And then you know you would get in trouble in school, right? So you're like, I can't get in a fight, you know, so stop, you know, harassing me. It's fine. But so then you get labeled a tattletale or a whistleblower, right? You're somebody who's, you're a traitor, you're this, you're that. Like, you know, that's what bullies come up with. Like, so, okay, yeah. Okay. We're going to shuffle and get one more card for this. And I wasn't in strong intention, but I wanted to place it there. But can we clarify the Nine of Pentacles in reverse? I don't want to get off track, but like at the same time, these messages are coming through. So I just appreciate that kind of hot-headedness, because that kind of hot-headedness is needed, right? My refrigerator just stopped humming like right as I said that. I'm sorry, it was very dramatic. I don't know if you guys could notice, but anyway, so we need to challenge the bullies, guys. It's in our nature, but it's in our nature to survive and also to, avoid conflict. And, so that's what I'm saying about this. Like, you are not going to avoid the turbulent waters. Like, you're like, this is actually, I am made to be able to ride choppy waters. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're like, I'm made for the shit, and I'm called to do it. So, these are the types of people who, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, Sag, like, you're the type of person I'm getting that would literally, like, you're the type of person who signs up to go do shit, like, you would be the type of person to be, like, providing people with, like, medical care in, like, really, like, dangerous situations and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm really getting. Like, with these swords, it's almost like you're willing to go into battle. Like, that's really what I'm hearing. Like, so you're the type of person who, like, traditionally, right, would, like, sign up to be in the army or something, I'm definitely getting that. And, with the Knight of Pentacles coming out, I'm going to go and show you guys. That's, like, coming through really strong with this energy, because this is the type of person who's willing to like, invest something tangible, right? So they're not just the type of person to, say what it is that they're going to do. You know what I mean? They're not the type of person who just is like, like, here's also coming out for the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, y'all. Like, this is actually really good advice, I feel like, for you too. But not only that, but it, what was just coming through. So it's you're willing to invest something tangible, like I said, to take action, right? Instead of being like the Knight of Wands, that's what it was, where that you're coming in, like, because I compare the knights in order to help give more context for why this one is coming out, right? So it really makes sense, actually. So when I think about the Knight of Wands, it's like coming in, like, hot-headed, right, and being like just rushing in, right? That's what a Knight of Wands would do, okay, right? So I feel like the Knight of Pentacles is actually saying that, like, this is something that if you want to be in it for the long haul, if you want to make it, like, it's a really hard, this is like a hard message that's coming through, but if you want to really do this thing, then you're going to want to think, like, long term. You're going to want to think long game. You don't want to go rushing into something and just sacrifice yourself just for one battle, right? Like, you want to pick your battles wisely, and when you do decide to do something, or not even just decide to do something, but decide where to dedicate yourself, right? So, like, choosing where you're going to put this energy, because some people would join the army, but then they're like, but here's the downsides, because there's downsides and upsides to everything, right? But there's some people who are called to do this kind of work, but they don't really feel comfortable with any of the existing power structures that they would be working for, right? Like, that's what I'm getting, is that you're like, okay, like, I would be a cop, you know what I mean? Or I would be a firefighter or whatever, but there's just downsides to every, thing that you could invest in. You're like, this is going to be my career, my long-term career. I really need to think really strong and hard about it. And you should take your time to think about where you're going to put it's like putting all your eggs in one basket, right? Because you want to go all in. Like, you're the type of person where, like, you want to dedicate yourself to a cause, like, that's really what I'm getting. And, like, and there's so many things that need this type of, like gusto. Like, I don't know why I'm getting the word, like, vigor too, where it's like just bringing life into something, being like, okay, something needs to be, and it's coming from this beautiful place, though. It's coming from this beautiful place of integrity and like heartfelt, like, morality, and, like, it's coming from a really beautiful place that is very hard to argue with, because it's like, I don't see, like I said, it's like you're somebody with integrity and values, and so you're like, this is part of my calling, guys. And when you're doing your calling, like, I'm telling you, like, some people don't like it, but, like, other people really do, like, and, like, it does light up the room, and it does make things happen, and it does create change. This is how we've gotten to the place that we are now, is people following their fucking, like, their North Star, right? That's really what this is having direction and knowing where you're trying to go. So now this is where I think that this is really powerful, because you may be having these epiphanies now. Like this may be like all kind of clicking into place for you. Like you're starting to figure out who you are and how you show up in the world and what you want to do with that energy, right? Like that's what I'm really getting. It's really powerful. It's really quite like, you know, it's invigorating is how I'm feeling it, because you have gone within. It's like you're accessing this energy from this deeper place now, you know, and this higher place. And it's like all starting to make sense to you. So here's what I'm seeing. So you've got the Two of Wands in reverse, also to clarify the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So Spirit's asking me to check the bottom of the deck. I'm sorry. Okay, the Devil in reverse. Yeah. Okay. Great. No, that's great to see. Okay. So what I'm getting is looking into your future and seeing how this could play out for you. This is, like I said, this was feeling like good advice, because I think that this may be something that you struggle with, because you may not 100%, right? Because coming out of the Hermit mode, it's almost like it has put you in the Hanged Man. I'm like showing you all these cards, but it's almost like it's put you in the Hanged Man in order to see this, right? You're like, where are my weak spots? Because that you want to know your weak spots when you're going into battle. You know what I mean? Because that's what you need to get stronger at. You know what I mean? Where could I improve, right? So that's what you'll really want to be focusing on. Where can I improve in order to become stronger so that I can really show up, you know, and really come forward in a way that is impactful, but is also what's the word? Like appropriate, you know, and not only appropriate, but effective, right? That's what I'm really getting, which is just a really concise and beautiful message for you. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, Spirit. So we're going to pull some more tarot here, and then I'll do some oracle cards. The Lovers. I kind of wanted to pull some love oracle cards for you, and I was like, well, that's a really random segue. Like, that's not a... like that. It just go right from, like, your life purpose to, like, let's pull some love oracle cards. Sure, why not? Oh, no, I'm gonna... this will probably be a better segue, because I'm just seeing the roses and the Hanged Man, you know, so you may be contemplating more than just your place in the world, but like maybe contemplating what it is that you want in the future, you know what I mean? It can talk also about wishes with the Star card here, what you're wishing for. So, you know, love might be in that wish. Like, love is probably a part of that, you know. Wow, you've got the Hermit card in reverse again showing up. Yeah, because you're actually, oh, this is great. So you're starting to step forward in your own life in a way, like coming out of this place of self-reflection and almost bringing that light that you found out into the world with the Hanged Man too, because like that's how it feels. Is like you're having these epiphanies. It's like layers coming out from within. And so now you're looking at your practical physical life, right? Because it's all been conceptualized in the mind, right? And in the spirit first. And so then now it's coming out into the tangible physical world, which is, you know, really exciting, but also now you're going to start to... Hey guys, sorry about that again. More technical difficulties. So it's okay. We need to transition the energy anyway. So I feel like you know, we pretty well dived into that. It's pretty beautiful. It's a pretty solid, like, type of, I mean, I just feel like you really are a good person. And what I'm seeing here is that, I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm feeling it. And, you know, but I feel like with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, it's important for you also because, like, I started looking at this reading, like, while I was fixing up my technical difficulties. And I really was feeling to myself, like, this easily could be talking about a love situation too. Because, like I was saying, it's like, I feel like you've been contemplating what your wish and your dreams are for the future. So while you're doing that, you're thinking about yourself, right? Like, where do you fit into the world? What is your going to be your, like, you know, source of income, all that sort of thing. Like I said, I feel like you're entering into a new era in your life. And so you want to reformulate yourself. You're kind of reinventing yourself in a way. You're also, like, you're reevaluating what it is that you actually really want in your life, what you love, you know, what you're called to do, all of that. And in doing that, you know, if romance is a part of that, like that's, I can definitely see that. And so with investing into another person, right? This could be somebody that you don't want to move away from, but the Hierophant reverse could be also talking about like some non-committal energy, right? Or like maybe it didn't work out in the past, or there's not really any commitment there yet or something. Like there's also that. But you want to be sure that as if you're going to approach somebody, or even approach somebody from, like I said, that you don't want to move away from, it could be like, so I'm getting double meanings on this entire spread, which is crazy. And I've never really done like changed lenses like that, but I could see it pretty easily, pretty immediately. And so that could also be for you, you know, you could also be challenging, wow, you could even be challenging cultural norms to be with this person. You know what I mean? And you're willing to face even choppy waters for this person, I feel like. Wow. I can't believe that just came through so strong. So when you do that, if that is your choice to move towards this person, okay, is be aware of the things that, like your intentions for moving towards this person. If it's because you're having a hard time being alone, because you're lonely, perhaps, okay, I'm just putting it out there, you know, it's okay to, a lot of times we don't like, you know, sorry, I thought my video stopped again and I was like, stop, no, everything's fine, okay, basically, like, you want to be careful about codependency, I'm just gonna say it, and you also want to be careful about thinking short term and not having like a really solid idea of what that would look like, you know, moving into the future, you know. And you may not be very optimistic about it either. And so you just want to make sure, like, you don't have to approach somebody because you're having really strong feelings. Like, first assess yourself, right? Like, and I feel like that's what you're doing. Like, you're like, first, let me sit with these feelings and see why they're coming up, you know, instead of like, you know, sending that late night text message or whatever, right? Like, you're the type of person, or I feel like you're thinking about it, but I don't know. Let's see. I don't know why, that's so funny. Totally changed the entire reading, Hermit. You know, I feel like you've taken a lot of time to think about it. Okay, Spirit's trying to say, like, you know, you have thought about this for a while. It's not like you're just not thinking about it, but it's like it's coming up in a bigger way now. 10 of Swords in reverse. Yeah, that's, to me, is like feeling like yeah, like I said, not wanting to move away from something, not wanting something to end, you know. Okay. So, thank you, Spirit. Please help guide Sagittarius. It's just what Spirit wants me to do. Okay. All right. Okay, wow. I never read like that. All right, so Knight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, you're going through a really major, like, seriously, you're going through a major, major transformation. Like, moving into this new era, like, this is the Death card. It's like you are going through some kind of, like I said, like reinventing yourself, but also reinventing your, like, how you think of yourself too. Like, how you think about life, the way that, how you think about your life, the way that you are participating in the world, or are going to participate in the world. Like, all of that's changing for you right now. Like, I feel like you've never thought about yourself like this before, and I feel like you also have never truly, truly seen your purpose, or really, really understood, like, how that all the pieces fit together. Like the pieces are starting to fit together, and you're starting to see a picture here. Like, and it's in looking at these places that need, like your weak spots, like I was saying, looking at where you need to get stronger is only going to accelerate and increase this, like this momentum, right? And you're going to step into this process a lot stronger. It's like preparing for a marathon, right? And when people hear the word marathon, it's like really scary, but there's like 5 kilometer, like 5K, like, you know, and I think 3K too, even, you know, where that's actually, you can work up to something like that in like a month. You know what I mean? Like some people do, and it's just getting back into running, you know what I mean? And so like if you've never done any kind of distance running, like, you know, it can seem really daunting, but like you just know that you're meant to be a distance runner. Right? I'm just like in the context of the analogy. But do you see what I'm saying, guys? Is it's like these are things that you really want to do, that you feel really called to do, and you actually can do. But like you're going to do it, basically, guys. Like I don't see you backing down from your purpose. Like I don't. In fact, like I see you actually rising up to it. And with the 8 of Swords in reverse, remember we had the Devil in reverse at the bottom of one of these decks here. This is like you are truly, with the Death card here, like you're truly letting go of whatever has, and this could just be your, like I said, the way you see yourself. With the Knight of Cups, it's like you realize now that like your feelings, like sounds like really cheesy or something, but like I don't know why, but I'm like you being a passionate and emotional being is like, I feel like especially as a Sagittarius, right? Because you're a fire sign. So I think that your passion a lot of times is kind of, you know, can be misconstrued as like just being hot-headed and being angry and, you know what I mean, aggro and shit, right? But it's like sometimes it's coming from this really deep place where you're like, no, I actually feel like disrespected, or I feel like there's something wrong here, or whatever's happening is not okay. And you know what I mean? Like, so everybody is an emotional being, not just water signs, okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you have to, you know, remember that this aspect of yourself is actually really beautiful. And it's kind of like the Knight of Cups I think of as like also, y'all, as like somebody who's like really dreamy and really charming, really polite, right? Like that's how I would see the Knight of Cups, as somebody who's like kind of like wine and dine you, kind of like, you know, romantic, someone who's romantic and kind, and you know what I mean, all that sort of thing, which is great, you know? So I feel like that you haven't really quite given yourself the space to be like that, to like connect with this part of yourself, and you haven't really like fully stepped into who you are, and this is what you're doing. Like you are stepping into who you are right now. You see what I'm saying? Which is beautiful, because these are the moments, like this is like the part of the process, right? Because like I said, it's like this is the Page of Cups. You are stepping into something so new and so exciting, because this is what you're meant to do. And when you step into this arena, whatever it is, like you have to be, I feel like, ready for it. You know, really though, you need to train for it, okay? Like I'm not even playing. Like and this is not to freak anybody out, like hurry, get going, but at the same time it's like there really is never any like there's no such thing as you know, time to waste, right? Like when you're moving towards your purpose and you really, really are passionate about it, like why wait to do the things that accelerate you in that direction? You know what I mean? Like why would you, if you know what it is you want to do, all you have to do is keep taking steps in that direction. But it's like that's what's happening now, is that you're actually letting go of the things that have held you back, which is the way that you see yourself, your sense of self-worth in a way, you know, but really your sense of self-security, feeling secure in yourself. So it's like you doing this is actually encouraging those qualities. You know what I mean? So it is like baby steps, or it's like, you know, one step, another step, right? And you move forward. So it's like, this is awesome. it's an awesome reading, but it's also, again, it's challenging because I think that, you know, when we go through these kind of like thresholds, that it can be very, what's the word? Yeah, challenging. I mean, but it's like, it puts pressure on you. It's like I said, like these choppy waters, like through the storm, like you're willing to, you know what I mean, go the distance for this. And so in doing so, if you're going to do that distance, I would recommend working your way up to it. Work your way up to the big day. You know what I mean? It's okay to do that. Like I said, and not that it's okay to do that, obviously, like, you know, but I don't think that you've thought about your life like that, you know? Like, I'm just really, I'm getting the feeling that it's like, you speak up when things are happening around you, you know what I mean? And you like, you know, but for the most part, you keep to yourself, I'm getting. But if things happen in your direct vicinity, like, you're going to jump in and do something about it. Like, that's the type of person that you are. And I'm just getting that, like, now you're realizing, like, okay, here I'm seeing a pattern. Here are all the things that I've stood up for and the things that have gotten me, like, you know what I mean? Where that, like, that passionate drive to defend, you know, freedom, right? Like, that's a big Sagittarius thing. You know, you defend your own freedom, like, you defend other people's freedom. It's just the way that, you know, I feel like that passion is channeled in this way that it's like, and especially for whoever I'm reading for, like I said, like, you're realizing the way that you can dedicate yourself. You're realizing now, okay, especially with the Knight of Pentacles, you're actually realizing, how can I actually turn this into my income? Like, how can I turn this into something that is like my passion project that also generates income, and that can keep me going in order to continue to be able to fulfill this purpose, right? So it's like you're realizing, like, how that all works, how that's all going to work for you, at least, like, you know, as you go step by step, because it's going to be a learning process. Like I said, you can conceptualize it, you know, mentally, but putting it into practice is going to be this is what's happening now, I feel like. And so as you begin to do that, you're going to start to, like, it's going to reveal this whole other side of you, basically, is what I'm getting, which is so cool. But you're going to see what that side looks like, because it's like something that's been dormant, like, you know. So now it's actually going to start to, you're going to be able to see it with light on it, right? You're going to see it in good lighting, and you're going to say, oh, wow, this part of me is really good in these areas, right? Like, I actually, like, this is because this part of you is really, you're closer and closer to your true self. So when you get to that layer and you're that much closer, like, you're really seeing yourself, it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, this is my highest self, but at the same time, it's like, because it hasn't been able to, like, really be, like, you know, you haven't really, like, been flexing those muscles, I'm getting, in this way, because you understand yourself so much better now. You're accessing this part of yourself, and so it needs to kind of get its footing. Does that make sense? Like, you're gonna feel kind of like a newborn in a way, right? With this Death card and the Page of Cups, you know. And it's not because you're going in the wrong direction, and it's not because you are, you know, inadequate. That's not why. It's simply because you are new. You know what I mean? Because this is simply new for you, you know? And that will happen to the best of us. And that happens to anybody who is, you know, damn good at what they do, and then they try something they've never done before. They're still going to be new at it, you know? So that's what's happening for you. But this newness is actually a part of your divine purpose here. So it's something that you're going to get used to, and it's going to be really cool. So, you know, that's what I'm getting. Like, you'll get your sea legs for sure, because this is what you're like I said, you're made for this shit. You are, you know, so you're just gonna have to believe in yourself, you know, but also look at the areas where you could get stronger, okay? You know, like I said, martial arts for some of you guys, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that's coming through. So, you know, this has actually already been a long reading. I probably shouldn't pull more tarot. I wanted to, but maybe I just look at the top card. No, he's saying split it. Nine of Pentacles in reverse again. Okay, Spirit's telling me I really do need to drive this home, guys. I'm sorry. Thought we were done, but I was just kind of being, not being easy on you guys, but I was really, really gassing you guys up because I'm loving this reading here. But at the same time, this really is something that you need to look at. You can't gloss over it, okay? That's what Spirit's saying, is you won't be able to. Okay, so Spirit's saying this is really important, okay? That you are... like, I'm like, how do I put this? You have to be solid. You have to be in order to succeed at this. And this is your purpose. So you have to love yourself. And you also have to be strong enough to face what it is that you're moving towards. Because your purpose may be, big, And Spirit wants you to be ready for it. You know what I mean? And I think that you, in a lot of ways, I feel like have put yourself on the back burner to a certain extent. But now that you're getting into this new place of, it's like you're getting into this new place of where that you're feeling gassed up, because you are feeling this sense of self-confidence, right? You are feeling like, realizing that your emotional side, right, is actually very powerful and is actually really part of who you are in this really powerful way. You know what I mean? And you're learning how to harness it. But I think you've never really given yourself permission, like I said, to like be this type of person or to speak from the heart, And so now that you're starting to do that, it's like you feel a little bit uneasy, or you feel a little bit vulnerable and out in the open. And in a way you are, because you're realizing, oh, when I speak up and I speak my mind, I speak my truth, or I, figure out my purpose, and I'm challenging, these cultural norms or these societal norms, whatever it is, like I get pushback, or people are looking at me or whatever. So then you start to get that realization, like, oh, if I want to be able to withstand those choppy waters, because that's what this is about. If I want to withstand those choppy waters, then I actually need to be able to stand good on my own. You need to be able to stand the haters. Okay, you really do. You need to be able to deal with the discourse. You need to be able to, to handle it, whatever it is you're stepping into. So Spirit is really trying to drive that home, Fool card, you're starting something new, The Fool has everything that he needs, right? And sorry, I apologize, but they have everything they need, right? The Fool has everything they need in order to succeed. But at the same time, you see this loyal dog is warning the Fool, hey, you know what I mean? That's a cliffside. You can, go down the bank instead or whatever, but we can still go in that direction. Just don't, jump off the cliff, right? Like that, I mean, quite literally, So it's that basically, you have friends and people around you, i.e. me, and you just need to trust that guidance in order to, really make the most of this change, and this brand new beginning for you, this brand new direction, you're going to feel vulnerable, but I'm really seeing that. But you're coming uncaged, so it's almost like you're like a bird, like being set free. And I know that's like kind of cheesy, but like that's the thing, is it's like, I feel like it's like it's really heartfelt. And this is very genuine, and this is very like, I don't want to say innocent, because it's not innocent so much as it is just authentic. And being authentic, it takes vulnerability. And so there is a certain level of vulnerability in being authentic and speaking your mind, especially against other people, right? Like it's pretty intense. So you're realizing, okay, I want to withstand this storm. This is my I'm thinking long term here. You know what I mean? How do I navigate? How do I strategize? Because you need to strategize your approach, right? Because you don't want to approach something aggressively and then it just becomes a shit show before you even, you know what I'm saying? You make any difference, it's just because you stir up too much shit, But it's like you're realizing, okay, I should strategize. If I want to do this, let me see how I can monetize it, make it legitimate. So then it's like a legitimate business or something like that. And then you're able to use that as a foothold to say, hey, like I have validity here, you know what I mean, in whatever way, right? So this is just coming through as there's so many examples of the ways that you guys are going to fit into the world. Like I said, showing up for people, fighting for, like I said, like what you believe in, because we need to challenge, we should challenge power structures when it comes to things that we think are immoral. You know what I mean? That should never be looked down on. You know, like I think it's unfortunate. Like I said, lots of people, you know, will engage in that type of, you know, challenging things in a non-constructive way, right? So anyway, guys, I'm sorry that was like hard for me to say, but so okay, I think I've pulled enough tarot for you guys. I love you guys, and I realize now I have to splice these videos together, and so it's probably going to be a decent sized reading. So look, y'all, I appreciate this energy. Thank you so much for stopping in. I hope this resonated with y'all, and if it did, just let me know. Interact with the video, you know. Drop it in the comments. If you guys need dream interpretations, I do offer that. So my contact info is in the description box below, as well as my donation links. If you wanted to drop me a donation, that really means a lot. Thank you to those of you who have, and thank you for everybody who has subscribed in the last 30 days. That's been awesome to see, and I really love hearing from you guys. So yeah, beautiful. I really am rooting for you, honestly, Sag. It's a good place that you're going to, you know. And so yeah, you're gonna get strong for it. So I can tell. But anyway, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next time.